Hey there, welcome to the race. This was a fun race I recently had at Laguna Seca in the Ferrari 488. It was actually my first race at Laguna in Competizione. So I figured I'd try my hand at clipping together a little video for it with some commentary over top. So let's go ahead and get started. I hope you enjoy and thank you for watching. So, just coming around the final corner here of the formation lap, I managed to qualify in 5th place. Okay lap, nothing amazing. I had a couple better ones, but they ended up having some issues at the end and got invalidated. And we're about to get the green light and get started here. Coming into the first corner, braking a bit early, trying to take it easy, sticking on the inside. Driver on my outside, MZ here, cuts in a bit early. We have some contact, but nothing too bad. Does give me a little dive bomb on the way through the next turn as well, but again, nothing major, so we're all right. But being through those first few turns now, can start to relax a tiny bit, get that train forming. Coming up through the corkscrew here, you see 3rd and 4th. They take it a bit deep, but we still make it through pretty clean. No incidents. As we come around this next corner, though, you see 2nd place just loses the rear and slides out, so now we're right up into 4th place. And that wraps up the first lap. Things are going pretty well, I think. I'm in a good spot, and we're settling into the race nicely. We're going to go ahead and skip forward a bit to lap 5. The race has calmed down up front. We're seeing cars start to spread out a bit, but I've managed to stay just within a second or so of 3rd place, and I want that podium. Coming up to the corkscrew here, I make the dumb decision of slightly modifying my line in the middle of a race. And as you'll see, just completely lose the rear, slide around into the gravel, getting my tires dirty, and losing 2 places. Elbrooks here slides past me just as I get back on track. And now I've got to settle into 6th. Hopefully I can gain some places here in the next few laps. Coming through the final corner on lap 5, we're going to go ahead and jump the video forward a few laps again to lap 8. Right behind Elbrooks still, and a couple cars behind us. Going into the first turn, I see a space and I go for it. He leaves me some room, and even slides in behind me pretty quickly actually. But I know he's right on me, and I keep watching him on the rear video there when I should be focusing ahead. There's a back marker who's kind of going slow right on the racing line, and I look up and don't really know what to do with the room that I had. Hit the gravel, spin out, bump somebody else. You know, it just kind of turns into a crappy situation. But I get back on track and just keep going. That poor driver I bumped into just gets bumped off again. But we continue on, 6th place, see what we can do. Now I'm going to jump the video forward a lap and we're going to follow the first place driver. Coming up on the corkscrew with a couple of back markers, and what do you know, makes the same mistake that I make pretty much. Slightly deeper into the gravel though. Struggles to get out and stops it though. And the only reason I brought this part of the video up is because I suddenly went up a place earlier in the race and I wanted to know why, and it just goes to show, you know, he quits right here. I go from 6th place to 5th place, and I bet if he continued, I would not have gained that place. He would have still remained somewhere in front of me. But, you know, works out for me. I'll skip it forward another lap, coming around the final turn to start the 10th lap. And you can see 3rd and 4th are just ahead. I'm starting to catch up again, and I'm making some good progress. Now, skipping forward again to what will be the 14th lap. You can see I've caught up a bit to 3rd and 4th place. G. Gonzalez ahead of me in the Ferrari is somewhat closer, but I've been noticing he's been making some extra mistakes in the last couple laps, so it's starting to feel like I might have a chance to take back 4th at least. As you can see through this turn even, he makes quite a mistake and allows me to catch right up to him. I gain so much time. I'm just trying to keep it nice and smooth through here, not try and drive, you know, too quickly and overdrive the car. Just trying to do what I know is best. And as we come up to the turn here, you got a back marker just totally in the way, blocks him off, and I'm able to easily slip by. But I am going to need to hold him off and make sure I get a good distance ahead of him, because he is right on my tail. By the end of the lap, things are looking pretty good. Now just skipping forward a little bit on the lap we just started, 15th lap, coming up on this back marker here up the hill just before the corkscrew. It's getting blue flagged and thankfully lets me right by. Goes just fine, no issues. And you can kind of see in the rear video there, it kind of holds up the driver behind me, 5th place, which is always great when it works in your favor. Now skipping forward once again to lap 17, you can see I've caught up to 3rd place, L. Brooks again. And I'm actually looking pretty good. I'm in a place where I can see him ahead and I can keep an eye on any mistakes he makes and keep driving as well as I possibly can. But the real question here is, am I going to be able to get that podium? I want it, but I've had quite a few mistakes myself this race, and there's still a lot of work to be done to get this 3rd position. But you can see coming out of this turn here, he makes a bit of a mistake, scrubs off quite a lot of speed, and I get right up behind him. So actually might not take any work. Go ahead and bust out the helicopter view for this one. I just get a really good run on the guy, and we go into the corkscrew, which this has a super cool view of the corkscrew. Nice, just simple overtake, and we're in 3rd again. And of course, just as last time, passing 4th place, now I need to hold off L. Brooks here and make sure I get a pretty decent gap ahead of him as quickly as possible. Now I'll go ahead and spare you the next 4 laps or so. I do manage to maintain 3rd place and build a pretty good gap in front of L. Brooks. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable. We'll go ahead and skip to the final lap, or just coming up to the final turn to start the last lap. One thing I'll note, you'll see in the bottom right I have my fuel, and it is getting very low. Now during the race, I only noticed this probably just after I started this last lap. and got pretty concerned. I don't have much experience yet in this game with fuel management, so I had no idea if I was going to make it. I started to spend a lot of time adjusting the fuel mapping, you might notice, coasting in some areas to just try and make sure I at least make it to the end of the race. But I'll go ahead and let the rest of this play out, and I'll see you at the end of the race. So coming around these last couple corners, it's looking like I should be able to make it with this fuel level. Pretty cool. They always got these flares or fireworks going off. Mark the end of it, gives you a nice visual. Coming around the last turn and this final straight, and that's it. It's over. I managed to pull it off. I crashed twice and still managed to pull it back and get third place. Really pretty happy with this one. Obviously a big part of it is luck, you know, but I still focused and tried to just drive my best drive and see where it ends up taking me. You know, a lot of people just quit out when they crash, and really shows how well you can end up doing if you just stick with it. So I appreciate you watching the video. I enjoyed making it. It was pretty cool. If I end up having another good race that's worthy of showing off, maybe I'll make another video. But in the meantime, take care, and thank you for watching.